Oscar, this is an employee-only meeting. You are free to return home. There was a brief silence in the room. I stiffened up instinctively. Even though I just have a high school degree, I am confident in my practical experience and understanding. Oh, Oscar, do you think you can keep up with today's difficult meeting? Yes, I'll do my best. The entire conference room looked at me. All right, let's hear everyone's thoughts on the new business project. I held up my hand as one idea after another was given. Yes, I have a proposal as well. Any other suggestions? Positive recommendations? Ignored completely. Surprised, I glanced around, but everyone looked away and stared awkwardly at the table. A break was declared since the meeting went on longer than anticipated. Megan, the department head, came over to me while the other coworkers went to get coffee or use the restroom. Oscar, please don't say too much. As I mentioned, this meeting is only for recent college graduates. You ought to depart right away. Megan urged me to go, leaning in and whispering so no one else could hear. Understood. I lowered my head and walked away. Megan started to shake the following day as she read the papers. Oscar Kingston is my name. My age is 37. For 15 years, I have been employed as a systems engineer at Future Tech, a significant IT company. Although I appear to be a mere employee, I am a significant shareholder in the business that my grandpa established. I've never told anyone that I inherited a sizable amount of its shares, though. I'm really proud of what I do. I have some of the best system development skills in the organization. But I don't like to brag. Because it fits with my personality, I prefer to work quietly. My coworkers have a great deal of faith in me, and they frequently remark, if we follow Oscar, we can't go wrong. I'd enjoy reading classical Japanese literature and playing chess. The Tale of the Hike is a book I've read many times over. The impermanence principle is in line with the IT industry's frequent developments. I can improve my capacity to predict and evaluate situations by playing chess. At work, this strategic thinking frequently comes in very handy. I was the 4th-ranked captain of the high school kendo squad. I even participated in national competitions. I still value the harmony I gained from kendo, which includes self-control and respect for others. I'd apply this idea to my work as well. My interactions with my staff and my client negotiations are guided by these values. Ian, the company's security chief, and I frequently talk. Ian, who served in the self-defense forces in the past, has taught me a lot about organizational administration. An organization is like a living organism, Ian taught me. It only works when everything is in sync, has stuck with me in particular. Keeping this insight in mind, I value teamwork greatly in my day-to-day job. My serious and hard-working nature, however, sometimes backfires. My relationship with Megan, the new department head, has been tense from the start. She studied business administration at a prestigious overseas university and tends to dismiss the traditional values of Japanese corporate culture. It seems she views my steady, hands-on approach as outdated. Even so, I intend to stick to my way of working. I continually educate myself to stay current with technological advances while cherishing the spirit of harmony. I believe this is the path to supporting not just our company, but the entire Japanese IT industry. It's about balancing respect for the culture and values built by our predecessors with adapting to a new era. I believe that balance is the true meaning of innovation. As the company's major shareholder, a role I inherited from my grandfather, I see this as both a heavy burden and a profound mission. I watch over the company's future, ready to make critical decisions when necessary. To do so, I make a continuous effort to stay informed about the company's overall situation and analyze it with a calm mind. While I may appear to be a regular employee on the surface, deep down, I feel the responsibility of a business leader. As I carry out my daily tasks, I'm always thinking about the company's future. In a world where technological innovation accelerates daily, I ponder how to grow the company while protecting the happiness of its employees. This pursuit for answers continues every day. Drawing on my experience and the legacy of my grandfather, I sit down at my keyboard once again. Today, the future of our company lies in the hands of each and every one of us. With this conviction, I commit myself to my work with all my energy. Since Megan's appointment as the new department head, the atmosphere at our company has drastically changed. When the internal email announcing her arrival hit my inbox, I felt an uneasy premonition. That feeling was quickly validated. Good morning, everyone. I'm Megan. I'll be leading this department moving forward. It's a pleasure to work with you, she said with a smile during her introductory meeting. But her eyes weren't smiling. I studied business administration at a prestigious overseas university. I'll be implementing the management methods I learned there to reform this department. Her words caused a stir among the colleagues. I frowned. New knowledge is undoubtedly important, but forcing it upon others isn't the way to go. That afternoon, Megan summoned me to her office. Oscar, I've heard about your past achievements, but we need to bring in fresh perspectives moving forward. Yes, I agree. That's why I've always been committed to learning new technologies and methods. No, that's not what I mean. Your way of working is too old-fashioned. You need to be more aggressive and move faster. I was at a loss for words. It felt as though my years of experience and accomplishments were being completely dismissed. The next day, Megan made a major announcement. I'm pleased to announce the leader of our upcoming new project. Andrew, you'll take the lead. I was stunned. I had always led projects of this scale, but Andrew was one of Megan's close allies and lacked deep technical knowledge. Thank you. I'll do my best, Andrew responded with pride. I couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. That evening, I sought advice from Ian. Oscar, don't rush. Sometimes retreating is part of the strategy. Watch quietly for now and wait for the right moment, he said. But if things keep going like this, the company will. I know, but for now, be patient. The time will come when your strength will be needed. Ian's words helped me restrain myself. However, the situation deteriorated more quickly than I could have imagined. Megan began implementing a series of new measures. First, she eliminated the morning radio exercises that had been a cherished tradition. That's outdated. Let's use that time for morning brainstorming sessions instead, she said. I could hear murmurs of discontent from the colleagues. The radio exercises were more than just a physical activity. They were a space for casual communication among colleagues. Suddenly, they were replaced by tense morning meetings. Next, Megan revamped the office decorations. Slogans emphasizing harmony and balance were taken down and replaced with foreign-style quotes like, "Think outside the box. Innovation is the key to success." The messages weren't wrong, per se, but the abrupt change left colleagues visibly unsettled. Then came the biggest shock. The annual company trip, a tradition everyone looked forward to, was drastically altered. This year, the trip will be to a luxury resort overseas. It's perfect for fostering an international perspective. At first, it sounded like an extravagant treat, but the reality was different. Megan, the budget isn't enough. Employees will have to cover 3 times the usual costs themselves. That's worth the investment. It's for everyone's benefit. I was stunned. In the past, the trips were modest getaways to hot springs, thoughtfully planned to ensure everyone could participate. Now, it was clear some colleagues wouldn't be able to afford to go. Megan, can we reconsider this plan? Oscar, you're always so negative. Try looking ahead for a change. She dismissed my concerns outright. Some of my colleagues gave me sympathetic looks, but no one dared to speak up. That evening, Kristen, the HR manager, approached me as I was leaving. Oscar, are you all right? It seems like things aren't going well with Megan. Yes, I'm managing somehow. Take it easy. We all know how much you contribute. Kristen's words offered a small measure of comfort, but the situation didn't improve. The new project quickly ran into trouble. Andrew's leadership was ineffective, and the team was in disarray. I tried offering advice several times, but I was coldly dismissed with, "Oscar, please don't interfere with our way of doing things." Meanwhile, the company's performance began to decline. Customer complaints were increasing, and employee turnover rates were rising. Yet Megan seemed oblivious to these warning signs. "Everyone, let's work harder. We're competing on a global stage." I could hear the collective sigh from the colleagues. One day, I accidentally overheard a conversation between Megan and Andrew. "Andrew, this can't go on. We need to make the numbers look better. But the actual performance, that doesn't matter. Just make sure my evaluation doesn't take a hit." I was shocked. Megan wasn't acting for the good of the company. She was acting for her own reputation. That night, for the first time in years, I found myself speaking to my grandfather's memorial tablet. "Grandpa, what should I do? If things continue like this, the company you built will." There was no response, of course, but a strange sense of calm washed over me. I made a decision. I couldn't stay silent any longer. To protect the company and my colleagues, I had to do what I could. However, my resolve would soon face its greatest test. Megan's reforms continued to worsen the atmosphere at our company day by day. One morning, I headed to Megan's office with an important proposal in hand. A plan for a new system development project. It was something I had spent months preparing. "Megan, this is a proposal for a new project," I said. She took the document, glanced at it briefly, and then tossed it onto her desk. "Oscar, this won't do. We need something more innovative. But this plan is based on a thorough analysis of customer needs. We decided what the customers want. Think of something more groundbreaking that will amaze the world." I was at a loss for words. Ignoring customer needs went completely against our long-standing principles. That afternoon, Megan called an emergency meeting. "Everyone, I'm excited to announce a new project. Andrew, please explain." Andrew stood up, looking pleased with himself. "Thank you. We're embarking on the development of a fully automated AI system. It will minimize human intervention and maximize efficiency." I was stunned. Such a radical project was unrealistic. Moreover, it could potentially take away many employees' jobs. "Megan, isn't this project premature? We don't yet have the technical capability to." "Oscar, it's you again. Always with the negative comments. This project is already a done deal." The room fell silent. Everyone could sense the tension between Megan and me. From that day forward, the new project progressed at breakneck speed. As expected, problems piled up. Technical hurdles, budget overruns, and worst of all, a sharp decline in employee morale. One day, Kevin, a young engineer, came to see me. "Oscar, is this project really going to be okay? Honestly, it's a tough situation, but for now, we all need to work together and do our best." "But at this rate, the company—" "I know, leave it to me." I tried to reassure Kevin, but I couldn't shake my own doubts. Then, the worst-case scenario happened. During testing, the AI system malfunctioned and destroyed critical customer data. An emergency meeting was called, and the conference room was filled with a heavy atmosphere. "How did this happen?" Someone explained. "We're terribly sorry. An unforeseen bug caused." No excuses. Just come up with a solution immediately. At that moment, I stood up. "Megan, I will take responsibility for addressing this issue. But this project isn't your responsibility." "That's true. However, I have a plan to resolve this problem." Reluctantly, Megan agreed. I quickly assembled a response team and began working around the clock to restore the system. I endured days with little sleep, eating meals at my desk as we worked tirelessly. A week later, We finally succeeded in recovering the data and made significant progress in stabilizing the system. Although the trust of our clients hadn't been fully regained, we had averted the worst-case scenario. Exhausted, I reported to Megan. Megan, the recovery efforts are complete. I see. Well done. Her words carried no trace of gratitude. The next day, she held another all-hands meeting. Everyone, the recent incident was deeply regrettable. However, this is an opportunity for us to push forward with even greater innovation. I couldn't believe my ears. She still planned to continue with her so-called reforms. Specifically, we will be restructuring staff allocations. Some departments will be downsized, while the new business division will be expanded. Murmurs of concern spread throughout the colleagues. This was effectively a declaration of layoffs. Megan, shouldn't we deliberate on this more carefully? Oscar, your opinion is not required. This decision is final. After the meeting, the office was engulfed in anxiety and unease. Everyone began worrying about their job security. Ian approached me. Oscar, this isn't working. You need to do something. I know, but right now, there's no time. You have to act before the company collapses. I fell into deep thought. It was clear that allowing Megan to do as she pleased was no longer an option. But I still felt it wasn't the right time to reveal my position as a major shareholder. Her recklessness showed no signs of stopping. Unreasonable demands kept coming. Longer working hours, unrealistic deadlines, and intrusive meddling in employees' personal lives. One day, Michael, a young employee, came to me in tears. Oscar, I can't take it anymore. I'm thinking about resigning. Michael, please wait a little longer. Things will change, I promise. Trust me, this company has a bright future. As I reassured him, my heart grew heavier. At this rate, we would lose talented people like him. I resolved to act. The time had come. Our company was nearing a breaking point. Megan's unilateral management decisions were driving the company into chaos, and morale had hit rock bottom. Then, one day, an email was sent to all employees, calling for an emergency meeting. The tense, worried faces of the employees filled the meeting room. I sat down, feeling my heart race. At the scheduled time, Megan walked in briskly. Thank you all for gathering today. I have an important announcement to make. A wave of tension swept through the room. Our company is falling behind in adapting to globalization. Therefore, we've decided to form a strategic partnership with a major overseas corporation. The room buzzed with murmurs. Along with this, we will undergo a significant organizational restructuring. Specifically, half of the current departments will be merged or eliminated to establish a new structure. I was stunned. This is practically a declaration of massive layoffs. I looked around and saw the employees' faces turning pale. And to ensure the smooth implementation of this new structure, all key meetings will now be conducted in English. At that moment, the meeting room fell into an eerie silence, as if frozen. From now on, English proficiency will be one of the evaluation criteria. Please make sure to prepare yourselves. Those words darkened the employees' expressions even more. The older employees, in particular, looked utterly hopeless. I stood up, preparing to speak. Megan, please wait a moment. But she cut me off. Oscar, this meeting is for employees only. You can leave now. Shock rippled through the room. I was stunned but tried to maintain my composure. However, I am also an employee and... Oh, didn't you hear me? This meeting is for employees only. Someone like you, stuck in the past, has no relevance here. All eyes in the room turned toward me. Pity, confusion, and fear. A mix of emotions, reflected in their gazes as they looked at me. I took a deep breath and slowly stood up. Understood. Excuse me. Then, with that, I slowly exited the room. Just as I was closing the door, I heard Megan's triumphant laughter. I stepped into the hallway and leaned against the wall. My heart was pounding intensely, though humiliation and anger surged within me. My concern for the company's future weighed heavier. Then her voice carried through the door. "Well, everyone, we're going to change this company for real. Those who can't keep up are free to leave." Something snapped inside me. I can't let this continue. The time to act had come. I left the building immediately. On my way home, countless thoughts swirled in my mind. The shares I inherited from my grandfather and the responsibility they entailed, the position I've kept hidden until now, and the colleagues I hold dear. When I arrived home, I went straight to sit before my grandfather's portrait. "Grandpa, I can't take it anymore. I need to protect the company and my colleagues." I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. My resolve solidified. The next morning, I'd arrived at work early. The office was still quiet. Sitting at my desk, I turned on my computer and sent an important email. About an hour later, my phone rang. "Hello, this is Oscar. Oscar, come to my office immediately." "Understood," I replied. I headed to the president's office with determination. I knocked, waited for a reply, and opened the door. Inside, next to Mr. Kennedy, stood Megan. Her face was pale, a stark contrast to the smug expression she had worn the previous day. "Oscar, take a seat." I sat down as instructed. "I read the email you sent me. Is it true?" "Yes, it is." "Wait a minute. What are you talking about?" Ignoring her, Mr. Kennedy continued speaking to me. "I never imagined you were the company's major shareholder, let alone the founder's grandson." Megan's face twisted in shock. "What? What did you just say?" I took a deep breath and began to explain. "Yes, my grandfather founded this company. I inherited the majority of its shares after his passing. However, I wanted to contribute to the company based on my own abilities, so I've kept this a secret until now." "This can't be. Oscar, why didn't you tell us this earlier?" "I'm sorry, but given the current critical state of the company, I could no longer stay silent." Mr. Kennedy let out a deep sigh. "I see. So what do you propose we do?" "First, I would like yesterday's announcements about the organizational restructuring and conducting meetings in English to be rescinded." "Wait, you can't do that. If we—" "Megan, be quiet." She fell silent. "I'd also like an opportunity to explain the situation and our future direction to all employees." After a moment of thought, Mr. Kennedy nodded. "Very well, I'll leave it to you." "Mr. Kennedy, you can't be serious." "Megan, your role ends here. We'll discuss your situation with HR." Her face turned ashen. That afternoon, an emergency all-staff meeting was convened. The large conference room was packed with employees, their faces a mix of anxiety and anticipation as they watched me. Taking a deep breath, I picked up the microphone. "Thank you all for gathering here today. I have an important announcement to make." The room fell silent. "First, I must share the truth about myself. I am the grandson of this company's founder and its major shareholder." The room erupted in murmurs of surprise. I sincerely apologize for keeping this a secret. However, given the critical situation our company is facing, I felt I could no longer remain silent. I proceeded to detail the flaws in Megan's policies and the events leading up to the current crisis. I could see the employees' expressions gradually shift from shock to understanding. "I'm here to announce that the organizational restructuring and the English-only meeting policy announced yesterday have been rescinded." A collective sigh of relief swept through the room. "Moving forward, I want to rebuild this company together with all of you. Our strength lies not in chasing individual achievements, but in fostering teamwork and a long-term vision. That is our pride and our greatest asset." The room erupted into applause. "We will work on new reforms together, incorporating your feedback along the way. Let's build a better future together." The applause grew louder, and I noticed a few employees wiping tears from their eyes. After the meeting, many employees approached me. "Thank you, Oscar. Let's work hard together from now on. We'll follow your lead." Each word resonated deeply within me. That evening, for the first time in a long while, I left the office early and returned home. When I got home, I went straight to my grandfather's memorial tablet. "Grandpa, I finally did what I needed to do. From now on, I'll look after the company you built, together with everyone." The sound of the wind chime echoed softly in the quiet room. It felt as though my grandfather was acknowledging my resolve. A month had passed since our company began transitioning to its new structure. The atmosphere in the company was gradually improving, but the negative legacy left by Megan still weighed heavily on us. One morning, Stephen, the head of the engineering department, came rushing toward me, looking distressed. "Oscar, it's serious. We've discovered a bug in Navigator Next, and it's a severe one." I held my breath. Navigator Next was our flagship product. If there were issues with it, the company's very survival could be at stake. "Explain it to me in detail." Stephen explained that under specific conditions, the system could output incorrect information. Several customers had already reported issues. "We need to form a response team immediately." "Stephen, you'll be the leader." "Understood." By the end of the day, we had assembled a team of our best engineers to address the problem. The tension in the meeting room was palpable. "Everyone, you understand the situation. This is a matter of life and death for the company. We must resolve it as quickly as possible." Kevin, a young engineer, raised his hand. "Oscar, to be honest, this is a very tough problem. It might even be a fundamental design flaw." I sighed deeply, but giving up wasn't an option. "I understand, but I also know we have the capability to solve this. Let's combine our knowledge and efforts." The team worked around the clock. We took meals and naps in the meeting room as days turned into nights, yet no clear solution emerged. Late one night, seeing the exhausted faces of the engineers, I made a decision. "Everyone, let's take a break. Resting is also part of the process." "But Oscar, we're short on time." "I know, but pushing ourselves without rest won't lead to good ideas. Let's resume tomorrow morning with fresh minds." The next morning, I arrived early and was making coffee. Just then, Kevin burst in, visibly excited. "Oscar, I've got an idea." "That's great to hear." Kevin's idea was innovative. It proposed tackling the problem with an entirely new approach, different from our usual methods. "All right, let's test it right away." The entire team reviewed Kevin's concept and began implementing it. 3 days later, we finally succeeded in solving the problem. "We did it, Oscar. The issue is completely resolved." Relief washed over me as I shook hands with every team member. "Thank you, everyone. Your hard work has saved this company." But our celebration was short-lived. The media caught wind of the issue and began covering it extensively. Future Tech embroiled in another scandal. Major defect in Navigator Next. Trust in the company shaken. The issues surrounding our company were covered daily in newspapers and on television. Our stock price plummeted, and inquiries from clients flooded in. I stood at the press conference podium. The journalists with stern expressions fixed their eyes on me. "First, I would like to sincerely apologize to everyone affected and concerned by the issues with Navigator Next." I bowed deeply. "We have already identified a solution to the problem and have begun distributing the corrective program. Furthermore, we will use this experience to establish a stricter quality control system." Incisive questions were asked one after another. "Following your company's previous misconduct, this latest defect raises serious concern about your technological capabilities. What is your response?" I hesitated for a moment, but quickly regained my composure. "As you pointed out, our shortcomings have led to this situation. However, our technological capabilities are by no means inferior. We have tackled this issue as a unified team and have gained new technical insights in the process. We will use this experience as a stepping stone for further innovation. After the press conference, I returned to the waiting room, where Ian approached me. "You did well, Oscar. That was an impressive response." "Thank you, but there's still much to do." "That's right. The real battle starts now." As if on cue, the next challenge arose. Major clients began calling for contract reviews. I desperately visited our clients, repeatedly apologized, and explained, striving to restore their trust. During a critical meeting with a significant client, harsh words were thrown my way. "Oscar, to be honest, we consider it too risky to continue using your products." I took a deep breath and responded with determination. "You are absolutely right. We have made serious mistakes. However, I believe that we can emerge stronger from this. We are committed to applying the lessons we've learned to deliver safer and more reliable systems. Please give us another chance." The client's eyes fixed intently on me. Then he slowly began to speak. "Understood. Your sincerity has come across. We'll monitor the situation for now." I bowed deeply. Back at the office, the employees looked at me with anxious faces. "It's okay. We still have a chance. The real fight starts now." My words brought a slight sense of relief to their expressions, but the difficult situation continued. Some clients terminated contracts, and securing new projects became increasingly difficult. The company's financial situation worsened by the day. One day, Scott, the head of accounting, came to see me. "Oscar, at this rate, we'll run into cash flow issues. We may need to consider staff reductions." I interrupted him. "Staff reductions are the last resort. Let's explore other options first." I racked my brain, searching for a solution. Finally, an idea struck me. "Scott, could we leverage some of our patents to create a new revenue stream?" "Patents?" "Yes, we could license our technology to other companies. It wouldn't require significant investment." Scott's eyes lit up. "That might work. I'll look into it right away." The proposal brought new hope to the company. By licensing our patents, we had the potential to secure a stable revenue stream. Meanwhile, rebuilding the core business remained an urgent task. I gathered the development team and laid out a new direction. "Listen, everyone, we are facing a critical moment, but we cannot afford to give up. Let's reevaluate our strengths in technology." The engineers listened intently, their expressions serious. "Remember the teamwork and creativity that helped us resolve the issues with Navigator Next. We have the power to overcome this difficulty." Marcus, the chief engineer, stood up. "Oscar, we have an idea," Marcus said, standing tall. "We might be able to use the technology we developed to solve the Navigator Next issue to create an entirely new product." My eyes lit up. "That's fantastic. Start drafting a proposal immediately." From that day, the development team immersed themselves in creating the new product. The team worked tirelessly, day and night, without a single complaint. Everyone was fully committed to this fight for the company's future. 3 months later, the prototype for the new product, Future Navi, was complete. It was a next-generation navigation system powered by AI and big data. This system didn't just provide traffic information. It learned user behavior and preferences to suggest the best routes and even destinations. Holding the prototype, I was speechless with emotion. "Thank you all so much. This will undoubtedly revolutionize the industry." Pride and confidence showed in the eyes of every team member. The launch event for the new product drew a large crowd of media representatives. The critical stares that once dominated were replaced with looks of eager anticipation. Today, we are proud to introduce our new product, Future Navi. This is more than just a navigation system. It's a partner for the future, designed to enrich users' lives and offer a new level of experience. The journalists were intently taking notes. The queue in a session was filled with technical inquiries. There have been doubts about your company's technical capabilities in the past. Will this product address those concerns? I responded confidently, yes, I believe it will. This product represents the culmination of our collective efforts and expertise. It's also a testament to the lessons we've learned and our commitment to reaching new heights. The reaction to the launch exceeded all expectations. Media outlets covered the event with headlines such as "Future Tech Signals a Triumphant Comeback." The company's stock price began to rise and inquiries from potential partners increased. For the first time in a long while, a sense of vitality returned to Future Tech. 3 months after the launch of Future Navi, the market response was overwhelmingly positive. The company's performance was showing clear signs of recovery. However, I remained vigilant. My experiences had taught me that crises could emerge from anywhere at any time. One morning, Kristen, the HR director, burst into my office in a panic. "Bhaskar, there's trouble. Something suspicious is happening internally." "What's going on?" I asked. "There are rumors that some of Megan's former subordinates are leaking sensitive company information to external parties." I frowned deeply. Megan's influence was still lingering. "Do we have any evidence?" "Nothing concrete yet, but multiple employees have reported similar concerns." "Understood. Let's set up an investigation team immediately." By the end of the day, a special task force, led by Ian, was assembled. They began gathering information covertly, searching for evidence of wrongdoing. A few days later, Ian came to my office. "Oscar, the rumors appear to be true. 3 of Megan's former subordinates, Matthew, Aaron, and Henry, seem to have been selling information about our new technology to a competitor." I let out a deep sigh. "All right, let's bring them in for questioning." We summoned the 3 employees individually for interviews. At first, they denied everything, but when confronted with evidence, they finally confessed. "We're sorry, but we were acting under Megan's instructions." "Megan, she no longer works here." "Yes, but she's still in contact with us and giving us directives." The situation was more severe than I had anticipated. Even after leaving the company, she had left behind collaborators aiming to damage Future Tech from within. I called an emergency board meeting. "Everyone, as you are aware, we are facing another crisis." The executives' expressions grew tense. "But this time is different," I continued. "We have experience, and we are united. Let's turn this crisis into an opportunity to strengthen the company." Samuel, the chief financial officer, spoke up. "However, if this information leak becomes public, our stock price will plummet again. If we mishandle this, the company's survival could be at stake." I nodded solemnly. "You're absolutely right. That's why we need to act preemptively." I began outlining my plan. The plan is to disclose the fact of the data leak and implement a thorough internal reform. Sebastian, the chief technology officer, expressed concerns. "Isn't that too risky? It's like reopening a wound for everyone to see." "The risk is high, yes," I acknowledged. "But if we try to hide this, the eventual consequences will be far worse. We must face the facts head-on and overcome them. That's what defines our company's integrity and strength." The discussion was intense, but in the end, my proposal was approved. When the information leak was disclosed, the media erupted with criticism of our company. Our stock price plummeted, and some clients terminated contracts. One day, I stood before the press again. The journalists' stern faces bore down on me as they fired questions. "Why was your company unable to prevent such an incident? Doesn't this expose significant flaws in your management? Can your company's products still be trusted?" Questions came flying at me like arrows. I took a deep breath and began responding calmly. First, I deeply apologize for allowing this situation to occur. It's true that our management systems had areas that needed improvement, but that's exactly why we've committed to extensive reforms. I detailed the changes we were implementing and concluded with, We are not perfect, but we are committed to continuous growth and evolution. We see this crisis as an opportunity to become a stronger, more trusted company. After the press conference, the atmosphere within the company began to shift. The spark of determination and pride started returning to the employees' eyes. One day, Kevin, a young engineer, approached me. "Oscar, we've come up with a new idea." "Tell me," I replied. "Yes, building on what we've learned from this incident, we've developed a safer, more reliable system. If we integrate it into future Navi, it could greatly enhance the product's value." I looked into Kevin's enthusiastic eyes and smiled. "That's an excellent idea. Let's start working on it right away." The proposal exceeded all expectations. The improved future Navi, with enhanced security and reliability, received high praise from companies prioritizing these features, leading to new contracts. Meanwhile, internal reforms progressed steadily. A new compliance system was established, and younger employees were promoted into leadership roles. The company's atmosphere grew livelier and more energized by the day. One day, I called Ian and Kristen into my office. "Thank you both. I couldn't have gotten this far without your support." "No, it's your decisions and leadership that made all this possible," Ian replied. "Exactly. You earned everyone's trust, and that's why we've overcome this crisis." I bowed deeply to both of them. Finally, the results of our reforms began to show in tangible ways. The stock price recovered, new contracts surged, and ethical management agencies gave us high ratings. One day, Mr. Kennedy summoned me. "Oscar, you've done an incredible job. Thanks to you, the company has entered a new phase." "No, it's thanks to the efforts of everyone in the company." "That's true. Now I have a new role I'd like to propose for you. A new role I want to nominate you for as the next president of Future Tech." I was momentarily speechless, but my resolve quickly solidified. "Thank you. I'll dedicate myself fully to the role." 6 months had passed since I took over as Future Tech's new president. The company continued to grow steadily, and the Future Navi series maintained its position as the industry leader. However, a new aspiration began to grow within me. I wanted to create more opportunities for people, regardless of their educational background or past experience. That desire grew stronger each day. One day, I made a significant decision. I established an entirely new department within Future Tech, the Future Creation Division. This department would recruit talented individuals without regard for their academic qualifications and turn bold ideas into reality. Products and services born in this division would be returned to society to benefit everyone. 6 months after its establishment, the Future Creation Division began delivering a series of groundbreaking projects. From new mobility solutions for those with limited transportation options to environmentally friendly renewable energy systems and AI-based learning tools to address educational disparities. The division's innovations flourished. One day, we received a request for an in-depth feature from a TV station. At first, I hesitated, but I realized that spreading awareness of these initiatives was just as important as creating them. On the broadcast day, I sat nervously in front of the television. The Future Creation Division of Future Tech invites challengers from all walks of life. We delve into the origins of its visionary leader, President Oscar Kingston. The screen displayed an essay I had written in high school titled My Dream. It read, "My dream is to create a society where everyone is given a fair chance, a world where effort, not one's educational background or family circumstances, determines success. I will make that world a reality." My eyes welled up to think that the pure aspirations I had as a teenager were now coming to life. The response to the program was overwhelming. Numerous companies reached out, inspired to implement similar initiatives, and the government even recognized us with an award. One day, I received an unexpected visitor. "Oscar, do you remember me?" Standing before me was Miss Anderson, my high school homeroom teacher. "Do you remember that essay?" I kept it all these years, Ms. Anderson said. To be honest, I was worried about you back then, but you've truly made that dream a reality. Miss Anderson, with tears in her eyes, bowed deeply to me. Oscar, thank you. You've given hope to so many people. I couldn't hold back my tears either. The next day, I gathered all the employees for a meeting. Everyone, we've come this far thanks to each and every one of you. Let's continue building an even brighter future together. A wave of applause filled the room. Glancing out the window, I noticed a beautiful rainbow arching across the sky. That evening, I returned to my childhood home for the first time in a long while. Oscar, you've worked so hard. Yes, but there's still more to do. That's true, but I'm sure your father and grandfather are so proud of you, watching from heaven. Without saying a word, I hugged her tightly. Later that night, I stepped into the garden and looked up at the starry sky. The struggles, the joy, and the present happiness, all of it felt like part of one grand story. One morning, I arrived at the office earlier than usual. As always, a voice called out from behind me. Well done, Oscar. I turned to see Chairman Mr. Kennedy standing there. Mr. Kennedy? No, it was thanks to everyone. It was your leadership that made it possible. You've become a remarkable leader. I bowed deeply. So what's next? Next, your technology is no longer just for Japan. The world is waiting for it. I silently looked up at the ceiling. We'll take on the world. Mr. Kennedy nodded in satisfaction. Good. I'll be rooting for you. Go get them, Mr. Kingston. His words renewed my determination. Megan's downfall continued even after she left our company. It began with her reassignment to an affiliated company and spiraled into a series of hardships throughout her life. The company she was transferred to was one of our subsidiaries, a small parts manufacturer. Her role there was a standard employee, no authority, no prestige. Everything she once had was gone. At first, Megan worked hard, trying to prove her abilities, but without any hands-on knowledge, she couldn't grasp even the basics of her job. One day, her supervisor summoned her for a stern reprimand. Megan, your performance is riddled with problems. Can't you handle even these simple tasks? I'm sorry, but I'm meant for more significant responsibilities. Harvard degrees and the like mean nothing here in this workplace. Only results matter. Those words made Megan realize just how arrogant she had been. But her misfortune didn't end there. Her covert actions involving leaked company information were exposed. She was interrogated by the police. Her face was pale, and her hands trembled as the officer spoke. Megan, you're under arrest on charges of industrial espionage. Wait, please. But there was no escaping it now. The trial resulted in a prison sentence for her. Sitting in the courtroom, she saw former colleagues and subordinates in the gallery. The sight filled her with intense regret. Life in prison was pure torment for her. Strict rules, minimal freedom, and most painfully, days spent facing the enormity of her own mistakes. After her release, she struggled to find work. No one was willing to hire her. Megan, to be honest, your background makes this difficult. That's not fair. I have a stellar education and extensive experience. None of that matters in the face of your betrayal of trust. Standing on the street, she was unrecognizable. The once luxurious suits had been replaced by cheap clothing, and her once confident demeanor had been replaced with a defeated expression. One day, by chance, she ran into me. I asked her, Megan, it looks like you're having a hard time. Her voice trembled as she apologized. I'm so sorry. I was wrong about everything. I looked at her calmly and said, Megan, everyone deserves a chance to reform. If you're truly remorseful, why not start over from scratch? Tears welled up in Megan's eyes. Really? Even someone like me? Yes, but it won't be an easy path. She bowed deeply. I understand. I'll endure whatever hardships come my way. This time, I want to grow in the truest sense. With that, she began working again, this time at a future tech subsidiary I introduced her to. Her role was now as a frontline worker, starting from the bottom. I'll relearn everything from the basics and aim to develop genuine leadership skills. The arrogance that once defined her had disappeared, replaced by a sincere determination in her eyes. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. 5 years had passed since I became president of our company, and I was now 50 years old. The company continued to thrive, with the future Navi series maintaining its position as the industry leader. But my challenges were far from over. One day, I gathered all employees to make a significant announcement. Everyone, today I have important news. Our company is embarking on a new challenge. The employees' eyes lit up. Until now, we've used it to transform society, but from now on, we'll take it a step further and fully enter the field of education. A buzz ran through the crowd. Using the AI learning support system developed by the Future Creation Division, we'll partner with schools and tutoring centers across the country to build a platform where everyone can access quality education equally. Excited murmurs spread among the employees. And I've selected Kevin, who has achieved remarkable results in the Future Creation Division, to lead this project. Kevin stood up, his face filled with surprise. He joined us after dropping out of college, and he's been an invaluable asset to the Future Creation Division. Mr. Kingston, I'm honored to be entrusted with such a responsibility. Your experience and creativity are exactly what this project needs. I'm counting on you. As applause filled the room, I smiled quietly. The next day, I visited the Future Creation Division's office. There, employees from diverse backgrounds and experiences worked energetically. Everyone, thank you for your hard work. Because of you, the company is moving toward a brighter future. Michael, one of the younger employees, stepped forward. Mr. Kingston, we're the ones who should be thanking you for giving us this opportunity. No, it's because you all believed in your potential and worked hard that we've come this far. A warm atmosphere filled the room. That weekend, I visited my mother. Oscar, I hear you're starting something new again. Yes, the challenges never end. Your father and grandfather are watching over you. I'm sure it'll succeed. I hope so. A proud light shone in her eyes. The following Monday, I attended the kickoff meeting for the new project in the conference room. Representatives from schools and tutoring centers joined Future Tech employees. Everyone, today marks the start of a new challenge. It's a challenge to change the world through the power of education. The eyes of everyone present sparkled with anticipation and determination. There will be difficulties, but we have the strength to overcome them, because we believe in the potential of each individual. Thunderous applause filled the room. That evening, I stood on the company rooftop. The wind brushed against my face, as if my father and grandfather were encouraging me. I took a deep breath and looked up at the sky. The future of our company remains bright. Our journey of challenges will never end. With a new dream in sight, I took another step forward. And so, this story continues into a new chapter.